Hi friends, it's me, Catherine. Welcome to the very first episode of Garden to Table TV. Super excited to be here with you doing this, sharing and learning about gardening and horticulture and farming and cooking up yummy homegrown stuff. So post your tips and comments. I'm going to show you today how I prune a fruit tree based on some very basic, usual, typical methods. So this is a peach tree. It's called a Tropic Snow White Peach. I love white peaches. They're so sweet and juicy. This one's called a Tropic Snow. It's named Jan because of course you have to name all your fruit trees after your friends and family, right? So this is named after my dear friend Jan, who is a Georgia peach herself. So she had to have a peach named after her. And so today we're going to take Jan. We are going to clean out all the dead wood, anything that's dead. We're going to look for any branches that are crisscrossed or cockeyed. We're going to cut those out. We are going to be looking to trim 1/3 of all the new one-year growth. We're going to look at all those new shoots that are, they're a little more reddish in color. We're going to be looking for those one-year shoots. We're going to be cutting back 1/3. Top third's going to go off. The middle third is where we're going to be aiming to settle our fruit, okay? And we're going to be looking for branches that are, saving branches that are strong and are going to be carry the weight of the fruit. So we don't want too many branches. We don't want to load so heavy we're going to end up breaking a lot of branches. So with a peach tree, you're aiming, one of the other rules of thumb is we're aiming to put up to 75% of that tree on the ground by the time we're done. So we're thinning it out. We're not knocking it down, but we're thinning it out. We're going to be allowing more air to circulate, which is very important because, as so many of you know, peach leaf curl is really endemic. It's a big issue. So we don't want all those spores and bacteria kind of getting stuck up there with a lot of moisture in the springtime. So an airy tree is always helpful in reducing the issues with that most of us, a lot of us have with peach leaf curl in areas that aren't super dry already. So we're looking for a nice, light, airy tree that's going to be able to support the weight of the peaches that we're going to grow. And so we're going to check back in with you through the process and show you what it looks like when we're done, and looking for your tips and tricks and what you're doing in your region and maybe what timing you're aiming for your pruning. It's January, so most of us are pruning right about now, in the northern hemisphere. What else can we say? It's January 22nd, 2022. I'm so excited that this is the first episode, finally. Been looking forward to doing this with you for a long time. We're at my home orchard today, which is called the Magical Paradise Retreat, of course. I've been growing things since I was a little girl. If I had an apartment, I had, tomatoes dangling out of every apartment window and grapes growing across the ceiling of the kitchen, and somehow fruiting just because they loved me and wanted to grow even though they weren't supposed to. I just love plants, and I love talking to my trees and working outside in the sunshine. And so loving to share that with you and hear what you guys are doing and what you're doing differently, and give me your tips too. We're all going to learn from this process and grow to be better and better gardeners and figure out all the solutions to all our worldly garden problems together. All right, we'll check back later and see you on the flip side. There are so many great pruning books, but this one's, kind of the Bible for orchardists. It's an old book that gets resurfaces all the time. So you've got to have your loppers here for stuff that's just a little too big to take off with your hand pruners. So those work great on the tougher, bigger branches, and then your pruning saw for the dead wood. And then, in a very friendly Ace Hardware store, you can get these great Ergo brand ergonomic clippers. You can clip all day long with these. They're awesome. But I have to say, my friend Robert gave this for Christmas, and oh my gosh, I just love them. I don't even know the brand, but they came in a very fancy little box, and I have to say they work amazing, and they're so sharp. You got to be careful you don't move the finger. They're pretty ergonomic too. I really like these. But today I used a very new special pair that I got for my birthday last week from my dear friend Jan. And of course, since we were pruning today Jan, the tree named after Jan, I had to use the pair that Jan sent, and they're just beautiful. They're from Verve Culture, That's the brand. Anyway, they're beautiful. They're wood and they're like very finely weighed. And my God, if they won't just slice through anything. So, and then of course, gloves from Dear Jessica. So can't live without these things. And of course, your favorite fruit tree. All you need is one, and you're in business. We have our very first volunteer here at the Magical Paradise Retreat, and that is Kevin, who has driven up from Southern California to learn how to prune a peach tree. Kevin, what are you doing up there on that ladder?
I am pretending to know what I'm doing. I'm taking orders from Catherine to try to figure this out. But today we are taking the top third off of the majority of this peach tree.
Okay.
And just being careful, get rid of a lot of the down-sloping branches because they're going to be too heavy. Just cutting it back, thinning it out a bit, but making sure that we don't cut too much so that the center of the tree doesn't get too much exposure and too much burnout during the summertime. So yeah, she's a great teacher. Having fun.
Oh, and tell us too about like where the fruit. So let's see. So there is there's a growth right in front of you. That twig right up.
Yeah. So it's typical to take like the top 1/3 of this off,
okay,
so that you don't have too much growth on there. I don't know why. That's just what Catherine said and what the book said.
And then that the most of the fruit is going to be in the middle third. So
that's correct. Right. You don't want to cut the whole branch off. The fruit comes into the middle third, so you take top third off of each one, which I've already done on this one, as you can see in this one as well.
And we're just working for the fruiting. We're just working on these tender, the reddish shoots, the new shoots.
Exactly.
That are just going to have the fruit in the middle.
Exactly.
All right.
Yes, and this is tree number 1 of how many?
Well, there are 120 some total, but I think we've got maybe 9 peach trees altogether.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe I need to renegotiate my employment contract. Back to it.
All right, so here's Jan after her haircut. Took about a foot or 2 off her top. And, then we're trimming back all the main new shoots and 1-year growth, all about 1/3 we're taking off. We're gonna set fruit, on the middle section of each of those new shoots that's gonna have flowers. We've really opened up the inside, so all the, every year branches are trying to poke in there and cover this up, but we really want all the sun to be coming down here in the whole center section, and I want to keep her nice and light and airy so that she, has good ventilation and isn't quite as susceptible to the peach leaf curl if she's kept nice and light and airy. So I leave a little more wood on my peach trees than some people might, because we get really super hot here in Central California, and I do like a little more leaf protection, so I'm a little conservative, one might say sometimes, but as you can see, very different than she looked just an hour or so ago.